Hello and welcome back to For You. Reese and Nikki here again. Are you feeling okay, Nikki? Do you have a temperature?
I don't know. Can you feel me?
好像发烧了。
发烧了。
Oh no, we should go to the hospital. Well, just to be sure, we can check your temperature using a thermometer, which is what our article is about today. Taiwanese company introduces smart thermometer.
But it's not a regular thermometer.
Yeah, it's a super special one that is really good and appropriate for the times that we live in now, with Mrs. COVID wreaking havoc on the world. Well, before we dive into talking about what thermometers are, when was the last time you were sick, Nikki?
I don't remember. It's like ages ago because we're using masks now.
Yeah.
Right?
I've noticed that too. In the last 2, almost 3 years, I really haven't been sick at all.
Yeah.
Maybe we should keep these a thing. Yeah. Just not in the summer. Well, let's dive into the article and learn about these new smart thermometers.
Reading.
Taiwanese company introduces smart thermometer. Taiwanese health technology company iWeCare has created the world's smallest smart thermometer, TempPal. It's a soft patch about the size of a stamp that you stick on your armpit. That's the place where the thermometer can read a person's body temperature most accurately. TempPal sends a constant record of the person's temperature data through Bluetooth to an app on their smartphone. This data can easily be shared with medical workers or family members. The battery lasts 36 hours and can be recharged. TempPal is excellent for babies and very ill patients, as their temperature can be taken without waking them up. This approach also reduces doctors' and nurses' contact with germs, since they can check patients' fevers remotely. TempPal was first approved for use in 2019. It's now approved in the European Economic Area, Taiwan, Singapore, and Thailand. Health systems in China and Thailand found TempPal useful during COVID-19. We may soon see other smart machines take the place of more traditional ones used in the health industry.
The article starts with Taiwanese health technology company iWeCare has created the world's smallest smart thermometer, TempPal. Well, let's talk about what a thermometer is first. It's a noun, and quite simply, it's just a tool that we use to measure temperature. And sometimes we can measure the temperature of our bodies or the temperature of the food that we're cooking.
Oh, exactly. For the water as well. 那今天的课文呢，就要介绍一个新的科技。在台湾有一个健康科技公司做了一个酷东西。那这个酷东西呢，就是一个温度计。它是世界上最小的温度计，取名叫做 TempPal。那 thermometer 是名词，指的就是温度计，一个小小的仪器用来量温度的。During this pandemic, we use a lot of these to measure our temperature.
Yeah, we have the temperature guns, right? The one where it beep. Yeah, it's very important to measure your temperature because a high temperature means you might have a fever. Well, let's learn more about this special thermometer. It says it's a soft patch about the size of a stamp that you stick on your arm. No,
your armpit.
Your armpit, yes, which is here. Let's talk about the word patch first. Patch, P-A-T-C-H, is a noun, and a patch is a small piece of material that can be stuck to the skin, from which particular substances can be absorbed into the body. We also saw the word armpit. This is your arm, and your armpit is under your arm. Sometimes hairy and smelly, so make sure you wash it well.
那这个 TempPal 呢，它其实就是一个贴片。大小它跟邮票是差不多大，然后可以贴在我们的腋下 armpit。那 patch 在这边是名词，指的就是贴片或者是补丁的意思。在这边课文的意思就是说，这样的温度计呢，这是一小块的东西。那 patch 当动词的时候呢，就有修补或者是修理的意思。For example, to patch things up with somebody means to fix a relationship. Maybe you guys have a fight with your parents, By patching things up with them, you can start by talking to them nicely.
Very good. You should always try and patch things up with people that you've fallen out with. The word stick is a verb, and to stick means to use glue or tape or some other material to make something stay in one position. You can stick two pieces of paper together using glue, or you can stick a poster to the wall using blue tack. Here's an example sentence with stick. I tried to stick the pages of this old book together with some tape.
那 stick 是动词，在这边课文就是粘贴或者是固定住的意思。那除了这两个意思之外 ，stick 也有把东西刺进或者是插进的意思。For example, in order to get our vaccines, nurses need to stick needles into our arms.
Oh.
那它的形容词呢，就会是 sticky， 意思就是黏黏的。For example, I always have sticky hands after cooking.
Yeah, oh, I hate that sticky feeling. Sometimes in the summer when it gets so hot, your skin gets kind of sticky.
Oh, yeah, especially here in Taiwan.
Yeah, because it's so moist and sweaty. Well, back to the article, it says that's the place where the thermometer can read a person's body temperature most accurately. And that body part we're talking about is the underarm or the armpit. The word accurately here is an adverb, and accurately means in a way that is correct with all details. Exactly. If you do something accurately, it means you do something with precision and accuracy and in a way that makes it 100% right. By saying that a thermometer can read your body temperature accurately, it means that the thermometer can tell you exactly how hot or cold your body is. You might be able to guess roughly, but this tool can give you a really good answer. Here's an example sentence. Scientists can accurately predict how bad a storm is going to be by studying the clouds.
那前面呢有提到 armpit 腋下，那就是在这个温度计呢它要贴的地方，而且这个地方的体温量起来会是最准确的。Accurately 是副词，指的就是准确地或者是没有误差地，也就是说几乎是100%正确的。那它的形容词呢就会是 accurate， 意思就是准确的 ，correct and true。那它的相反，如果是不正确的或者是不准确的，我们就会在前面加了一个否定的 prefix， 就会变成 inaccurate。那例句说，科学家可以借由研究云层来准确地预测暴风雨的严重程度。那在这边看到一个文法，就是 where 当关系副词来用。关系副词呢，就是同时兼具连接词跟副词的功用，还用来引导关系子句，或者是我们说形容词子句，来修饰前面的先行词。Where 当关系副词时，它是修饰一个地点的先行词。那在这里的 that's the place， 也就是 the armpit， 它是为温度计可以准确测量体温的地方，所以用 where 接了一个子句来形容这个地方 the place, the armpit. Here's an example sentence. Little kids like to go into the playroom where they are free to run and scream. 那就是说，小朋友喜欢去游戏室，一个他们可以自由地跑来跑去跟尖叫的地方。
Returning to the article, it says Tempao, which was the name of that thermometer, sends a constant record of the person's temperature data through Bluetooth to an app on their smartphone. This data can easily be shared with medical workers or family members. Wow, so this is different from a regular thermometer in that it's constantly taking your temperature.
Oh, so you can know that 2 hours ago or an hour ago,
Yeah.
what was my temperature?
And you can just leave it there all day. But I guess don't forget to take it off maybe when you go to shower. Otherwise it might get flushed down the drain.
Exactly.
The article used the word medical here, which is an adjective, and medical means something to do with medicine or hospitals. Medical workers are people who work in hospitals, or people whose job it is to make you better, like doctors and nurses. Medical equipment, medical advice, medical textbooks are all examples of things that can be described with the adjective medical. Here's an example sentence. If you want to be a doctor, you need to study for a long time in medical school.
那接着课文呢，就要介绍这个小小温度计是怎么运作的。它其实就是会一直发送体温的资料呢到使用者的手机里，那它借由蓝牙传送到手机的应用程式。那这些资料呢是可以被共享的， 医疗相关人员或者是家庭成员都是可以取得的。那 medical 是形容词，意思就是医学的或者是医疗的，也就是跟医疗相关的东西，像是我们的 medical records， 也就是医疗记录，就会有我们曾经生过什么病啊，开过什么刀，在什么时候生病等等的记录。所以说生病或是受伤的时候，我们就会需要医疗照护，那也就是 medical care or medical treatment。那在这边课文提到的 medical workers 指的就是那些在医院或者是诊所里面上班的人，像是医生或者是护理师等等。那例句说，如果你想要当医生的话，你就必须要在医学院念很长一段时间。
I think you've got to study for like 10 years or something.
At least 7 years.
Yeah,
my cousin is a doctor.
Wow, medical school is a long and tough process, but it's worth it because being a doctor is an amazing thing.
You can save lives.
Save lives. Well, back to the article and more about the features of this thermometer. It says, the battery lasts 36 hours and can be recharged. Wow, that lasts a lot longer than my iPhone. The article used the word battery here, which is a noun. A battery is a thing that can give power to your devices, like your smartphone, without wires. Your phone has a battery inside, though batteries don't last forever. They do need to be recharged. Recharge is a verb that means to give energy back into something, like a battery, that's already being used up. We can also use the verb recharge about ourselves, which means we want to take a rest and get our energy back.
Yeah, sometimes you can do that by sleeping.
Yes, sleeping and eating chocolate and playing with my kitty are all ways that I like to recharge.
那在这个温度计呢，它的电池是可以维持36个小时，而且是可以重复充电的。Battery 是名词，指的就是电池。那如果我们电池没电的话 ，if the battery runs out of power, we can say that the battery is dead. 那 recharge 是动词，指的就是重复充电。因为 charge 这个动词，它原本的意思就是充电了。那如果我们加上一个 prefix re， 那就会有重新或者是又在的意思，所以就会变成了重复充电的意思。
Do you know that feeling of panic when your smartphone is about to die, but you're so close to your home and you haven't charged it yet? You want to run inside and get the wire in the phone?
Yeah, I heard if it's under 20%, it's bad for the battery.
Really? So you should always keep it charged. Yeah. Well, back to the article, it says Tempal is excellent for babies and very ill patients, as their temperature can be taken without waking them up.
那这样的设计呢，就是说对于小 baby 来说是超级无敌方便，因为家长啊就不用把婴儿吵醒来量他们的体温，因为可能好不容易才把小朋友哄睡，那把他叫起来可能又要花很多时间才能让他们休息。所以如果用这样子的贴片的话呢，就可以随时随地监测小孩的体温，看看他们有没有发烧，或者是呢对重症病患也是有很好的好处。
That's so good. I think one thing that I'm impressed with about technology is that as the years go by, we find ways to make all of these incredible things smaller and smaller and smaller. I think soon our smartphones will be so small that we could just hold them in our fingers.
Or we don't even have smartphones.
They're just in our brains.
Yeah.
Scary. Well, the article says this approach also reduces doctors' and nurses' contact with germs since they can check patients' fevers remotely. This is a really good advantage to have, especially during COVID times. The article used the word approach here, which is a noun. An approach is a way of doing something or a way of solving a problem. It's different from a solution. A solution is a proven way to solve a problem. An approach is something that you try to do to solve a problem. Here's an example sentence with the noun approach. It's been 2 hours and we still haven't answered the first question. We should try a different approach.
Approach 是名词，意思就是方式或者是方法，通常是用来解决问题，也可能是一个处理事情的态度。那在这边这个 approach 的意思呢，就是对于这个新研发的温度计以及它的使用方式。例句说，已经过了2个小时了，我们还是没有回答第一题的问题，我们应该要试一个不同的解决方式。
Approach can also be a verb, which means to
get closer
to somebody, or move towards somebody. The article also used the word germ, which is spelled G-E-R-M. It's a noun, and germs are tiny, tiny things that live everywhere, including on and in our bodies. Germs are usually bad because they can cause diseases. Germs are a kind of bad form of bacteria. You can't see germs, they're too small. But dirty places in particular have many, many germs. Make sure you clean your bathroom and kitchen well, because that's where most of the germs live.
那这样的方式呢，可以减少医生跟护理师和细菌的接触，因为这样贴着，直接用手机看病人的体温呢，就不用去摸到它们，就可以降低这些细菌传播的机会。Germ 是名词，指的就是细菌会造成疾病的东西。那通常我们是看不到的，因为它们太小了。That's why we need to wash our hands to avoid getting sick. 那 germ 呢，其实就是比较口语的方式来说 bacteria， 那也就是细菌的意思。
The article also used the word remotely, which is an adverb. It comes from the adjective remote, which means far away from everything else. So the adverb remotely means to do something from a distance or from far away. To do something remotely means to control something from a long distance without touching it physically. Working remotely means working from home or a place that's not your regular office. You can control some toys remotely, like a remote control car. Checking a patient's temperature remotely means the doctors and nurses don't have to be close to the patient to check their temperature. They can do it from another room, which is safe because it means they can't trade bad bacteria or germs. Here's an example sentence. The meeting today will be done remotely due to the typhoon that is expected to hit this afternoon.
那 remotely 是副词，意思就是远端地或者是遥控地，也就是说有一定的距离的。那在这篇课文的意思就是说，医生不用跟病人面对面来量他们的体温。今天医生跟病人可以在2个不同的地方，医生也可以远距测量病人的体温。那像是前阵子开始实施的 work from home 或者是 study from home, they all mean that we work or study remotely.
Back to the article, it says Tempal was first approved for use in 2019. It's now approved in the European Economic Area, Taiwan, Singapore, and Thailand.
Oh, so it's when the COVID started.
Yeah, it is. So good timing. Approve is a verb which means to officially allow or agree that something can be done. If something is approved, that means that the people involved say it's okay to do it or use it. In terms of food and medicine, the governments of countries often do safety checks on products before approving them to make sure they're safe to use. If you want to change some details of your school project, you might need your teacher to approve it, to check it and make sure it's okay. The noun form of approve is approval. Here's an example sentence. Taiwan did not approve my sister's tourist visa, so she won't be able to visit me in Taiwan.
那这样的温度计贴片呢，是在2019年第一次通过使用。Approve 是动词，意思就是认可或者是核准，也就是说，好哦，你可以这样做，没问题的意思。那对于这些医疗设施来说，因为是攸关人命的东西，所以都要经过政府或者是专家的核准 ，otherwise would be illegal。那如果是反对或者是不赞成的话，我们就会用 disapprove 这个字。For example, my parents strongly disapprove of me dropping out of school.
So the word approve is something we use more for like an official agreement, right? Or about something that's maybe more serious. Back to the article, it says health systems in China and Thailand found Tempal useful during COVID-19. We may soon see other smart machines take the place of more traditional ones used in the health industry.
那像是在中国、泰国这些地方，新冠肺炎时期呢，都有使用到这个温度计贴片。课文也说到，之后我们可能会看到像这样的科技取代原本传统的温度计。Take the place of something 指的就是取代、拿走别人的位置的意思。 那也就是说 this tampal will probably replace the traditional ones in the future.
Great. So as we invent and develop more technology, we find safer ways to have interactions between doctors and patients. More convenient and safer. Good. We're saving lives. Well, that's all we have for this article about the new thermometer. Let's go to our For You Chat question to wrap things up.
For You Chat.
So today's For You Chat question is, what kinds of different thermometers have you used? Head, under the tongue, in the ear, and what's good and bad about them?
Well, there are many different kinds of thermometers that go into different parts of your body, right? I think when I was younger, if I was sick, my mother would use the one in my mouth. She'd pop it in your mouth and then leave it there for a few minutes, take it out and read the temperature, which is pretty accurate, but I think the bad thing about these kinds of thermometers that go in your ear or in your mouth,
They kind of exchange something.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
If I am sick, now my sick bacteria will be on the thermometer.
Exactly.
And if my mother doesn't clean it well, maybe she'll get sick too.
Yeah, and then you have to clean it every time you use it.
Yeah.
So it's more convenient or safer to use the one on your head, right?
Yeah, the gun thermometer because it's not actually touching your body. Or this new patch thermometer, which you can just leave there for as long as you need.
So everyone has one. You don't have to share it with other people.
Exactly. I think this new thermometer is a really good idea because the old thermometers come with some small risks, right? You guys can think about this question too. What kinds of different thermometers have you used? What's good and bad about the different kinds? You can talk about that with your friends. That's all we have for now. Make sure you guys are staying healthy and staying safe. Wear your masks and don't get sick. And hopefully you won't need to use any of those thermometers. We'll see you next time.
Bye!
Vocabulary Review. Stick. Frances put some glue on the paper heart and stuck it to her notebook. Accurately. Lisa checked that the note on the package accurately listed all the items inside before she mailed it. Medical. Tim asked the doctor for medical advice when he had a pain in his stomach. Approach. The new boss took a fresh approach to solving the problem after asking the workers about their opinions. Remotely. During COVID-19, people around the world worked remotely. Most were at home in front of their computers. Approve. The boss approved Keith's request for vacation days because he asked for them 3 months in advance.
智慧小补帖
Thermometer. Patch. Armpit. Battery. Germ.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net